2023 comes to a close. Community advocates are reflecting on our city's ongoing struggles to curb violence. As of now, Louisville has seen 150 homicides this year. That's according to Louisville Metro Police. Thanks so much for joining us here at 6:30. I'm Alex Dieterer. Connor Steffen reports that although the number is the lowest it's been in years, community voices are stressing it's nothing to be proud of.
Another year.
We're still stuck in this pattern.
Another unthinkable sum of lives lost.
Unfortunately, we're ending 2023 with another high rate of fatal and non-fatal shootings in Metro Louisville.
As of December 30th, Louisville's seen 150 homicides in 2023 and 408 other shootings, injuring victims as young as 5 years old and older than 64.
I think there's a lot of good people who are putting efforts towards trying to tackle this problem.
And while as it stands, homicide numbers are down this year compared to 2022.
It's still a horrible year anytime you reach 150 homicides.
Anti-violence advocates like Chris 2X say it's no progress to be proud of.
Any life that is not impacted by being wounded by this scourge, we'll take that all day long. But at the end of the day, the numbers are what they are, and there's no big change from 22 into 23, not at all.
Compared to this time 10 years ago, homicides are up 206%. Compared to 5 years ago, 88%. Instances of senseless violence that picked up as the world shut down during the pandemic in 2020.
We have not seen a downward spiral in 4 years. The evidence is pretty clear on that.
4 years, 4 homicide totals rising above triple digits. In total, 651 lives lost. In that same time, more than 2,000 people have been injured in shootings.
And we cannot surrender under these circumstances that are very stressful, an emotional pull on the community.
Reflecting on what's to come in the new year,
it's hard to recover from this.
Many can only hope 2024 brings with it less loss. In Louisville, Connor Steffen, WHAS11 on your side.
We reached out to LMPD for a statement, but have not heard back as of this newscast. Tonight on the Night Team, we'll have a look at what some community leaders are trying to do to bring the number of homicides down. And in our city, there's a lot of time and attention focused on homicide numbers, but there's another side to violence in Louisville. There have been more than 400 non-fatal shootings in 2023. 97% of those shooting survivors go to U of L Hospital. We spoke with health workers who help connect these survivors to resources to help them recover mentally from the trauma of being shot.
So some of that looks like providing mental health support services, and then we're able to refer out to our community partners so that they can provide more support, whether that is housing insecurities, whether that is mitigating any type of retaliation that may come about.
According to U of L Health, the Violence Intervention Program has seen a lot of growth over the years. When the program first began, only 5% of patients accepted services, and as of today, the number of patients has grown to 60%. Kentucky lawmakers will return to Frankfort on Tuesday for the start of the legislative session. This is a budget year, so a lot of their time will be spent on that. But the Republican supermajority has already signaled several other priorities. One of the main priorities for Republicans here in Louisville is passing the Safer Kentucky Act. This is a large public safety measure that Republicans say will address a rise in crime and keep people safe. The current version makes homeless camping illegal if a property owner asks someone to leave and they refuse. Another aspect is a 3 strikes rule, where if a person is convicted of 3 violent felonies, they get life in prison.
If it costs the taxpayers more money, I think that's okay. I mean, obviously it's in the mix on how much it costs, but we're trying to keep our people safe. And if you've committed 3 violent felonies, you need to go to prison for the rest of your life.
We have so many laws on the books. Now we're going to enforce something so it's comfortable to us. That's a simple way of responding to it. But if you get down to mental health and housing and all that sort of stuff, it gets very complex.
We asked Louisville-based State Representative Jason Nemes how fast he thinks things will move to start the session. And he doesn't predict anything being passed in the first week, but he does believe many bills will be filed and passed through committee. It's been 6 months since Kentucky's Safe at Home Act took effect. It's an expansion of a program aimed at removing barriers for survivors of domestic violence to protect their addresses. Secretary of State Michael Adams says 55 people are now protecting their addresses, tripling program membership. But Kentucky has one of the highest rates of domestic violence in the country.
It's a program that I wish didn't have to exist, but I think we'll go from 55 to into the hundreds and over time into the thousands.
My ultimate vision is that we successfully, those that leave us who go on to their next home, complete these packets, that they fill out and they have these addresses.
If you need address protection, the application for the Safe at Home program can be found on the Secretary of State's website. If you or someone you know needs help, call the center's hotline at 844-237-2331 anytime. Next week, Kentucky's governor will deliver his annual State of the Commonwealth address. It'll be in the House chambers on Wednesday, January 3rd, starting at 7 p.m. You can stay tuned to WHAS 11 both on air and online for the latest. WHAS 11 News has learned a newly elected town council majority will be naming a new police chief come their first meeting this Tuesday. The town council will announce Captain Nathan Walls as their new police chief during their Tuesday meeting. Walls will replace current police chief Mark Palmer from the post he's held for 12 years. Some current and former town council members are now openly condemning the move.
I understand that, but to change something that's working and is good for the town is just nonsensical.
If you stack up any of their resumes to Mark Palmer's, they're going to lose. Mark Palmer's been there 33 years. You know, I haven't met one person that has a bad thing to say about this guy.
Clarksville Town Council Vice President Karen Henderson told WHAS 11 News that the council will name a new chief Tuesday. She says, quote, "This is not a demotion. This is a reappointment, which happens when new mayors and councils are elected. We appreciate Mark Palmer's service as chief the last 12 years and are looking forward to a new era," end quote. Henderson did not respond to our multiple requests for an interview. There's a massive flea market taking over the Kentucky Expo Center to wrap up 2023. From today until January 1st, there's over 800 booths at the Kentucky Flea Market, and they have items going for $5 or less for the next few days. It's an event that's near and dear to John Stewart, whose grandfather started the event 50 years ago.
When you've been out here for 50 years, it kind of is a tradition among families to come out and go shopping, things like that. It's good to see different generations come out.
The flea market will be open tomorrow, 11 in the morning to 5 and 10 to 5 p.m. for the final day, which is Monday.